All right, let's see what this guy has to say.
For more on what the Fed will do and what it means for opportunities in credit, we're joined now by Bruce Richards of Marathon Asset Management. It's good to see you. Welcome back.
Good to see you, Scott.
Well, that was timely for our conversation. What do you think they're going to do next week?
Cut.
By how much?
They're going to cut by 25 basis points. 50's off the table, 25, and it's a lock, 100% probability priced in the market that they'll cut for each of the next 3 times this year, which is bringing rates down 75 basis points.
Why do you think 50's off the table? And do you think the market thinks that? Because, we're hitting record highs again. You don't think that's in anticipation of maybe 50?
I think the market may be a little disappointed if they don't see 50. It doesn't matter. They're only going 25. It's only justified to go 25. Inflation, quietly, the Fed is saying implicitly 2% is their inflation goal, and we're looking the other way, and we're going to accept 3 because inflation's firmly set at 3, and yet they're going to cut, and they're going to cut because they're more focused on jobs, and job data is weak. But the job data being weak doesn't mean that the economy is going to be weak. There's very little to no risk of recession or stagflation because this quarter we're going to see a 3% GDP print according to GDP Now. Last quarter was 3.3%. So with 2% growth this year and inflation at 3%, I believe they bring Fed funds all the way down to 3% over time, but cut in every one of the next successive meetings.
Wrong. Wrong. First of all, it's not 100% probability of the Fed only cutting 25 basis points. It's 92.7% probability according to the futures market. 7.3% chance to cut 50 basis points. First of all, I don't know, we talk with such a level of certainty. What is it?
He's got an agenda. If anybody tells me 100% and it hasn't already happened, I'm like, this guy's got an agenda.
Yeah, both the futures markets and the betting markets are still pricing in the probability of 7.3% on the futures market. And if we take a look at poly market, we have a 12% chance that the Fed cuts 50 basis points. 2, the Fed isn't cutting because it wants to cut. The Fed is worried about inflation, okay? The Fed doesn't want to be there. Can you imagine if inflation comes back and the Fed's been cutting 50 basis points at a time or cutting at all? Oh my God. Volcker will be rolling in his grave. They don't want that. So the fact that they're going to cut at all means it's Papa Trump, forced their hand. Lisa Cook found this out the hard way. And then come hell or high water, they want those rates to come lower. And so if that's the case, if it is true that this is being forced from the administration, you think the administration wants 25 basis points? You think Donald Trump rolls out of bed for 25 basis points?
Well,
the market's had 75 basis points cut priced in. I would go for that.
They're clearly not following what Donald Trump wants, or else they would have cut already. They're going to do half measure just to, stick it.
No, sometimes your girlfriend or your wife goes and sulks in the corner, and you know that when she clears up, she's going to come back and then do what you ask them to do. You just need to. Sometimes you just need to give the Fed chair some space. Well,
so you think it's going to be 50?
I don't want to do it because you want me to do it. And they're like, okay, fine, don't do it. Well, maybe I do want to do it.
So you think it's going to be 50?
I think there's a 12. The markets are pricing in a 12% chance now that it's going to be 50 in the betting markets. And I took that bet when it was 6%. So I'm up double. That's what I care about. I care that the odds that the 50 basis point cut is priced in, or rather that it's that's what the odds are. I think they're wrong. I think it's higher than 12% chance, because if we have any other data, although we are a couple of days away, there's always a chance that more bad news comes through. Plus, we're in the period of weakness in September, October. So if bad things are going to happen, they can happen now. So I don't think 50 basis points is off the table. Plus, it would be weird if they did 25 basis points now and then 50 basis points, like let's say things go badly and in November they have to do 50 basis points. That would be like an escalation. Oh my God, the market sell off in November, December would be amazing. And they're like, the Fed is increasing the amount of rate cut. Cut 50 basis points now. Let's just get it out of the way. Call it whatever you're going to call it. And let it be the Fed put. And let's get back to all-time highs like we're supposed to. All right, this guy is ridiculous. Let's move on to someone else because he doesn't know what he's talking about.